As I was finishing up in the last video, we were looking at the Pre-Calculus 12 introductory page where all the different objectives were given for the students. They could read through those objectives, the different achievement indicators as given by the Province of British Columbia in the integrated resource packages. They would then link to Lesson A, begin Lesson A. Lesson A is designed as a review lesson where prior learning is accessed so that the students take what they've learned from grade 11, possibly grade 10 math and link it into what they're learning here in grade 12. So beginning with a review of linear functions, moving down a review of quadratic functions, graphing them, and then further into absolute value and other types of functions. Okay, so inverse functions as well. So all of these functions, they review them, and the method I use is an inquiry type method where they look at and analyze functions. They answer questions in the forums. So each of these arrows with the red forum indicates that they have a forum question to answer. So here's the question written. They click on the forum. Notice that the same question is the first question in the forum here. These are all the questions that are given for this lesson 1 in the module, and when they add a new discussion topic they can add what they have found out in response to the question for that forum and discuss it with their peers. There's also Desmos activities. Desmos again is the graphing calculator, so that takes them to the graphing calculator. They can perform the activity that's written here, describe how M and B change as it's outlined above here, the graph of the function. So Desmos activities help them use technology, online technology, to learn the course material. Further forums activities, once they're done the lesson, they move on to Lesson A quiz. The quiz gives them the opportunity to test themselves on the material. The idea is mastery learning, so these quizzes are not counted for marks. They simply perform the quiz. They go through the questions, so notice the question here, they're matching different graphs to different types of functions. Typical question built into Moodle quizzing. Once they're done the quiz here has 10 questions. They can review the quiz. The quiz automatically has built-in feedback created by me ahead of time that they can use for learning. And then once they've reviewed, they can go back to the learning page where they can review some of the material. They can discuss further with their peers in the forum, take the quiz again as necessary until they get 100%, and then they would typically move on to Lesson B. Okay, so going back to course homepage here, notice in Module 1, so they got the introduction, they got Lesson A, they've got a chat feature, they can chat anytime. Module 1 Lesson Forum, that's the one we accessed, and Lesson 1A quiz. Once they're done that, they move on to Lesson B. Okay, so again, it's all based on inquiry type learning, kind of using the POE, predict, observe, explain idea, and also similar to the TGEM approach, generate, evaluate, and modify. So they're working through those activities. The forum then asks them to make up rules for functions, for transformations of functions, translations, stretches, compressions, and such like. So that's how they move through, and then they would access the quiz. So going back to the home page here, so they got Lesson A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then once they're done that, they move to the challenge wiki. Once they're done the challenge wiki, where they provide each other questions and answer those questions, they're ready then for the final test of the unit. And that completes the unit. Thank you for listening.